Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today is Tuesday, February 7th, 2022. I am Salad, and this is My Turn to Talk. Hey, Ninja, welcome. The number one today, girl. Hey, Frankie. Thank you, and Jill. Welcome. And for everyone else who is watching or over on one of the other streaming platforms, welcome. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome. Mr. What? 97? That's not pronounced that. Welcome. I hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend. It is a beautiful day here in California. Michael, welcome. Hey, Brenda, welcome. Okay, so I'm going to get started and let everyone else just trickle in if they want to. So today I want to talk about taking away your choice. And people constantly talk about freedom and rights, and are we or they allowing the same freedom to others? So, in today's talking points, a lot of it has to do with democracy and freedom of speech and, your choice, my choice, whatever. But are we really giving freedom of choice and freedom of speech to everyone? Is everyone really getting it? If things are, if you can't do this, you can't do that. This is banned. That's banned. Supposedly the media is doing this. The media is not doing that. Are our choices being taken away? Everyone. Not everyone, but a lot of people have this thing about freedom of speech and your choice. But it seems like the same people who are talking about our choices and freedoms and things like that are the ones that are kind of not, allowing others to have theirs. So what do we do? I mean, does anybody really have a choice of anything anymore? Did we ever? And what do you consider freedom of speech? What do you consider it? Ofari, give me a minute and I'll invite you up. I mean, what do you consider freedom of speech? What do you consider choices? Is your choice to marry whomever you want? Is that your choice? Or is it the choice of someone else? Is your choice to dress however you want your choice, or is it the choice of someone else? The book that you choose to read, is it your choice or someone else? The school you plan to go to, what you plan to study, the job that you take, is it your choice or is it someone else? Is someone always going to be dictating to us? Hey, Marcy girl, is someone always going to be dictating to us what we should think, where we should study, what we should study, where we should live, who we should marry, who we shouldn't marry, what we do with our bodies, what we don't do with our bodies? So again, people, constantly say freedom and rights, but those rights are, are they really there? Do we really have choices? So, that's what I would like to that's what I would like to know. Do we ever have choices anymore? Ofori, welcome.
Yes, I'm on the line.
Yes, I can hear you.
It's a choice. First of all, it's a choice. Then, yeah, that's what I can say.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time understanding you.
Come again.
I'm having a hard time understanding you.
Oh, oh, hmm.
Did you want to repeat what you just said?
I'm okay. I'm okay. Hmm. Let's go and come back. Then I'll have something to say.
No, I can hear you clearly. I just can't understand you. I can hear you clearly. I just cannot understand what you said. That's why I said, do you want to repeat what you just said? Because I just can't understand it.
Yeah, I say it's a choice. I have to. When you take it's a choice. Then you can choose a choice to do whatever you are doing, and it's a trust too. You have to trust someone. Yeah, that's what I can say.
Okay. All right. Welcome, Jester. So, in terms of choices, Ofori, I'm going to, since you're not speaking, I'm going to put you on mute. Um,
All right.
okay. So, in terms of choices, welcome Melody and welcome. Let's see. Oh, Frankie, you're doing double duty on both platforms. Okay, and welcome SAS 513. Welcome. So, you have people who complain about one thing, but they do the same, and that's with everyone. Everyone will complain about something. I do it myself. I'll complain about something, but then I find I have to catch myself because I'm doing the same thing to someone else. So when it comes to your choices, when people say there's no democracy anymore, there's no freedoms anymore. And that's why I come back and say, did we ever have those freedoms? Did we ever um, have the freedom to choose? Now, you have some people who say that, you know, the government is trying to take away our guns. Are they? We can say the government is trying to say what we can and cannot read. Are they? I mean, do we truly have choices? Or can we choose not to do that particular thing? If you don't want your kid to learn something, don't send them to class. If you don't like what your boss is doing and how your job is treating you, look for another job. Now, of course, that's
Yeah,
all easier said than done. But
yeah.
don't we still
And
have choices?
from where I'm speaking from, I'm speaking from Africa, Ghana. Uh, in our country, you don't have a lot of job in this country. You understand me? So when you leave a job just like that, it's difficult for you to get another job. You get me?
No, I
So
understand what you're saying. That's why I said it's easier said than done. And I know it's not easy for some people to just go to another job. I was just trying to make a point.
yeah, yeah. I just want to clarify this. That's why I was saying from where I am speaking from, even in Africa, not only in Ghana, in Africa. I don't know about Europeans and whatever different countries, but in Africa, it's very difficult for us here. And when you leave a job, you can even sit in the house more than 4 or 5 years before you get a different job. You understand? So when you are doing the job, then the work is not good for you. You have to do it and find for another one. When you get it, then you stop the other one. So that one, I can say that it's your choice. It's your choice for you to do, or you can. It's a decision. Either you will do, or you will just stop and go and do another one, and go and sit in the house and find another one to do. You understand? Yeah. So in life, it's a choice, and at the same time, it's a trust. When you trust, yeah, I hope everything will be fine.
No, life is a choice. And I'm gonna have to put you on mute again because I have your the echo coming from your mic. Um, life is a choice, absolutely. And I find that most people, when they, unless they're really upset and they just quit a job, most people do look for another job before they quit another. But my point is, do we have choices or are they taken away? And for some things, we do have choices, and other things we don't. And again, I say that when you have mainly I'm going to use the government as an example. If you have the government putting out rules and regulations, sometimes it's hard to have those choices and those freedoms. But what some people may consider freedom and rights being taken away, others may not think so. So again, I come back and I say, um, do we truly have choices? Now, like Ofori said, it's not easy to just quit a job and go and get another one. No, it's not. But then again, that's a choice that you have to make. Um, I think a lot of choices in this world suck, and sometimes those choices we don't like. That's just like when your mother said you're either going to have you have your choice. You can eat spinach or you can eat green beans. You may not like it, but you have a choice. So are our choices really being taken away, or we just don't like the choices that we have? And are our freedoms being taken away, or do we just think that the freedoms that we want are no longer there? And Marcy Girl says we are free to make choices just not free from consequences in her opinion. And that's a and that's a good point. So let me ask this. Is freedom of choice the same as freedom, period? Is freedom of choice the same thing as freedom of speech? Meaning, I should be able to choose to say whatever I want, wherever I want. But is that the same as freedom of speech? So that's a question that I have. Is freedom of choice the same thing as freedom of speech? Hey, Big Easy, welcome, welcome. Ofari, welcome. You have the mic again. I can't tell. Is he still here or did he drop off? Okay, I think he dropped off. Okay. Okay, and Shelby says, I don't think so. So what do you disagree with?
You always want to bring me up.
Well, you said you don't think so, so I'm so hello Shelby.
Hello, Solid. How are you?
I am good. I am good.
I don't think that freedom of speech is the same as uh,
Freedom of choice.
yeah, freedom of choice. That's right.
Why?
Okay, freedom of choice is a decision, whereas freedom of speech is what you say, in my opinion. And these days, you can't really say a whole lot without somebody censoring what you say or, you know, things like that. And you can't really decide a whole lot of things because because well, take for instance the jab. A lot of people didn't have a decision, to get that or not get that.
Can I push back on you on that one?
Certainly, because you always do.
Okay, so okay. You did okay, this is where I'm talking about choice. You did have a choice. You may not have liked what was at the end of that choice, but you had a choice. You either had a choice to get the jab or not. If you didn't get it, then certain people weren't able to go to work, they weren't able to go into certain places, they weren't able to, whatever. But you had that choice. You just
Okay,
may not have liked the outcome of the choice that you had, but you still had a choice.
right. But certain people did not, like healthcare workers. They didn't have that choice.
Well,
It
yes,
was the fact that
yes,
you lost
they
your
did.
job.
Okay, but
That's
that was still a choice. I mean, I
but
thought that choice sucked. I mean, I thought that was bad, but you still had a choice. You either get the jab or you don't work here.
but their whole life would be turned upside down. So technically that person did not think they had a choice.
Okay, so then to push back some more. I'm just playing both sides here. So does that mean that in whatever we do, that your boss could say, Shelby, if you don't change your hairstyle, you cannot work here. If you don't, cut those braids out of your hair, you can't come back to school. If you wear that uh, uh, suit again, then you're going to be fired.
It's been done.
Right. So again, it's like, but you still have that choice. You have the choice either not to wear that suit, change your hairstyle, whatever. We just may not like what's at the end of that choice. And that's why I said your mom either says you're going to have spinach or you're going to have cabbage. You don't like either one, but you have a choice.
I guess you'll be sitting at the dinner table a long time.
Yes, yes. I mean, there are many nights that I sat at the dinner table a long time. Food got cold. Guess what? I still had to make that choice. So again, you don't like the choices. So again, and again, I'm just playing both sides. So when we say, so we have that choice, does that mean that your rights were taken away because you didn't get the jab, or you got the jab and you didn't want it? Were your rights taken
Okay.
away?
I'm going to agree with what Rifle says. It says it's short of restraining someone, they have freedom of choice, but that it's not real freedom or much of a choice. It's restricting your freedom of choice.
Okay. All right. Okay. And I would agree with that. I told you, Shelby, I always got to play both sides. I always have to play. I always have to play. I always have to play both sides. And then Marcy says, how are we connecting freedom of choice and freedom of speech? I am and I'm not. I'm just asking that the question, are they the same? Can we put them in the same column? Marcy, now you know me. My shows are always, I always gotta dibble and dab in something. So okay, so Shelby, then let me ask this, because I want to go back to the jab thing, because you had a lot of people who did not like it. And me personally, I am vaxxed and I am boosted. I don't have a problem with it. People can laugh at me. I'm still wearing a mask. Some places I put gloves on, but I was putting gloves on before COVID and all this other stuff. But let me ask this. What's the difference between them saying to you, you have to get the jab for something like COVID, but people didn't have a problem, or put it like this, they may have had the problem, but it wasn't that much of an outrage or whatever. When your kid has, in order to go to kindergarten, whatever, you have to be vaccinated. You have to get your measles, mumps, and all that other stuff. What's the difference between, now they're saying, I can't enter that country if I don't have the jab, but for years you couldn't travel without getting vaccinated for certain things. No one said anything. What's the difference?
Well, in that instance, those were vaccinations that were researched for years, and that were studies upon studies done upon about them. And I mean, the COVID jab was one that, I mean, it just all of a sudden, it wasn't one that, I mean, they've had it for years. Yes, don't get me wrong, but it was not researched like it should have been researched.
Okay, but who's to say that all these other vaccinations were researched just because the government said they were, just because they didn't come out within 2 months and they came out within 10 years? Who's to say that they were researched?
Well, when you go to get them, you had information. I mean, the doctors give you information on it.
And when you go to get the jab, the doctors give you information on them.
Cloudy information, yes.
Okay, but what? Okay, but Shelby, I just love going back and forth with you. I really do, guys. Am I still frozen on? I don't think so. Maybe I am. I don't know. Okay, so how do you know when you say that things, that the information was murky, what do you consider murky? I mean, if you're not a scientist, how do you know that this big long word, chakalinkaling, whatever, that's, no, I mean,
Chackalinkle.
I'm just saying, how do you know that this stuff, I mean, we're just taking the words of scientists, doctors, for some people, politicians, so how do you know?
Well, like I said, there was studies on past vaccinations.
But
There was actual outcomes. Yes, there were times. I'm not saying that every vaccination is perfect because, yes, vaccinations are a leading cause of autism. But
okay,
I'm just saying that to me, the COVID vaccine was not studied enough.
okay.
And that's my opinion.
Okay. And Bria says the COVID vaccine is essentially the flu shot, which is optional. And I agree with you because that's what it is. It's the flu. It may be a harsher form of the flu, but it's the flu. But yet people never complain about the flu shot the way they complain about the jab. Considering the fact that the flu shot changes every single year. You don't know what strain's going to come out, and they're just coming up and saying, "Okay, this is it. Go get it." And you have millions of people who run and go get it.
I won't get it anymore. And my doctor I even asked that to my doctor, is this just a flu shot? And then he told me no. So every doctor's different when they talk about that shot.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, I'm not saying, everybody has their own opinion about that. I'm just saying that was not, in my opinion, was not researched enough to say, hey, this is good, because now they're coming back and they're saying, oh, well, it could kill you.
Okay, all right. So you think that I'm going back to the whole freedom thing? Then was that a freedom? Then that was taken away in your opinion?
Basically, I mean, in a way it was, because everybody, even the president was saying, you need to get your COVID shot. You need to get your COVID shot. I mean, it was either that or pay the consequences.
Okay. Okay.
And your consequence, if you, for certain people, the consequence was you lost your job.
Okay. So you look at that choice as a consequence.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, 40.
Yes, madam.
You wanted to chime in?
I support what my sister said. I support 100%.
You support which sister, me or you support Shelby? Which one are you supporting, or both?
What my sister said just said is 100% correct, and even I can say that even in relationship we have freedom of choice, but sometimes you have to take before you take your decision. You understand me? You have to take before you take your decision. You can choose someone, but that person will be a wrong person for your life, to end of your life. So sometimes choice is freedom of choice is true. It's a reality, but sometimes you have to take care before you take a choice.
Okay. All right. I want to read some of these comments before I get behind. Brina says, I think a lot of people were for it, but only after it's been out for some time. The COVID vaccine is essentially a flu shot, which is optional. And she says, we trust the doctors for the most part, but that COVID vaccine was way too new. Rena also says, I stopped taking my flu shot years ago once I found out they were guessing on the strain. And welcome, Shy Lady and Angela Harkins. Welcome. Well, again, I go back to choices and freedoms, because you have to do your due diligence for everything, and however and whatever you choose to do, then that's what you do. um Whether it's getting a shot, whether it's taking a job that you may not like, just because you need the money, you just take the job. um we all have, we do have choices. Some of our choices are restrictive. um I personally think that when it comes to a choice like a curriculum, pull your kid out of school, teach teach them at home. But everybody doesn't have that freedom to do that. Parents have to go to work. Everyone, cannot do that. So you should have the choice not to put your kid in class if you don't want them to hear something. If your boss tells you something that you don't want to do, or you think that is wrong, you have a choice to tell your boss no. But there is that consequence, using Shelby's word, there is that consequence that you could get fired, or he'll have you, or she'll have you doing something else that you don't like. You'll get demoted, or you won't get that promotion that you were up for. But Crucible, welcome. But when we talk about, freedoms and rights, I find, and again, I was playing both sides. I was playing both sides here. I find that the same people who say that our freedom and rights are being taken away are taking away freedom and rights, and vice versa. So again, I come back to, do any of us really have any freedoms? Do any of us really have any rights? We all have choices. We just may not like those choices. And like I said, when it came to the jab, I vaxxed and boosted. I've never had COVID. My family has never had COVID. I get a flu shot every year. My son hasn't been sick since he was 4, literally. You know, so those are, you make the choices that are best for you. But I do not think that other people should decide what choices are best for you. I don't think other people should decide that this is best for you, or this doesn't make any sense, or this is this, or this is that, whatever. I don't think that people should do that. Because I do think that when people start messing with your choices, they're messing with your freedoms. And I think those two do get intertwined. So does anybody want to disagree with me on that? Push back on me? Agree? Disagree?
I just want to say that I'm pushing back a little bit.
Okay.
I want to say I was back because of my job at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've just had the 2. It was not time for me to get the booster. I had COVID. Um, of course, yes, it was I wouldn't say a mild case, but I'm not going to say it was the strongest case there is. I was in between. Um, I would not wish that on anybody, even my worst enemy. It was bad. But still, the point being is, um, regardless if you had it or not, um, in my case, it was the situation that if you did not get it, you would get fired. Okay? I got it because of that fact. The company I worked for had federal dollars, and that's the reason why we had to get it. My situation was I worked from home. We did question that. Why would we have to get it if we worked at home? No answer. We had no answer. They did not give us an answer.
Well, that's
So we went ahead and we got, the group that I was under did, comply. Not even, I guess it was probably about a month and a half, 2 months. Yeah, 2 months after I got it, I was fired anyway. So, I'm just saying the point being is that, you know, you're going to suffer consequences no matter what you do, regardless if you do it or if you don't. But I mean, oh goodness, now I lost my train of thought. Um,
you say you're going to suffer the consequences.
yeah, I mean, regardless of what you do, I mean, if you do what they ask, there's consequences on, if you get sick, there's consequences if you don't get sick. Like you said, you have not gotten sick. I'm happy for you. There's, and all of our group that I was in that worked from home, all of us got sick.
So,
And
so basically, are you saying that you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't?
right, basically, yes.
Okay, all right. Brina says we get strong armed into things sometimes and aren't able to perform the due diligence. Okay, so Brina,
Right.
okay, so then let me ask this. Then, and I know I'm really reaching on this one, but this just popped in my head when I read Brina's comment. So, does that include when our friends try to strong arm us into doing things that we don't want to do? Are they taking away our choice or our freedoms when they try to say, "Oh, come on, you should do this. Oh, come on, you should do that. Oh, this is not a big deal. Oh, come on, come on." Is that taking away a freedom or taking away a choice using the word strong arm?
Brina says no, that's peer pressure, and I agree.
Okay, okay. So if I were working with you, Shelby, and I said, Shelby, you really should get the jab. You really should. I mean, because if you don't, you risk getting COVID, and then you're going to get long COVID, and then this might happen, this might happen. Is that peer pressure, or is that me strong arming you trying to get something that you don't want?
In my opinion, I think that's peer pressure because that happened to my husband.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, do you think that, for the most part, have we always been strong armed into doing things that we don't want to do in society?
Oh yeah, of course. No matter what it is. I mean, it could be something simple as, I mean, Oh Lord, now look, now
I'm just sitting here listening to you. I'm just sitting here listening.
I think there is a difference, but it's hard for me to explain the difference.
Okay.
Um, uh, move on with a different question. Come on, I know you got one.
Actually, I'm gonna go to Ofari and ask him if he wants to add anything.
Okay.
Ofari, do you wanna add anything?
Oh, I'm no for now.
Okay. All right. All right. Well then, Shelby, I will come up with a different question, but I will circle back around to that one.
all
Okay.
right.
So okay, so when you look at freedoms, okay, name one freedom that either one of you name one freedom that you think that everyone has that isn't challenged by society, your job, your parents, your wife, your brother, sister. Name one freedom that you think everyone has that is not challenged.
Mhm. Um, you have freedom of movement, and
Does everyone have
freedom of
freedom of
yeah,
movement though?
yes. And you have to have freedom of movement. Everybody,
Well, I
so
mean,
far.
okay, again, and I'm getting technical here. Does something that everyone has, because if you're in prison, everyone does not have freedom of movement
Why?
because you're in prison. And if I'm in prison, that means you're telling me to go here and there and
You are
whatever, but I
as
cannot go where I want. I'm going where I'm told.
yes, at home. So far as you are at home, you have freedom of movement. Even in the prison, you have a certain time they go out. They go out and sit outside, and so in the evening time, in the night time, then they came inside. You understand? So, I don't know how I'm going to explain this.
You and Shelby both.
I think you have the freedom of where you live.
Do you really though?
Why are you asking that?
I mean, no, again, I am playing both sides here, and I knew going into the show, I knew that whatever you all said, that I was purposely going to push back. So you say the freedom of where you live. Does everyone have the freedom to truly live where they want? Because if you have the freedom to live where you want, that means that no one's going to picket in front of your house, no one's going to harass you. No one's going to do anything. You're going to have literally the freedom to live where you want with no problem.
I mean, I hadn't committed any crimes, and I'm not a sexual deviant, and I'm not,
No, I know. I understand what you're saying. But again, I'm saying, does everyone, and again, I'm being very technical. I said a freedom that everyone has. And you said,
okay, well, I'll take that back.
okay, so, and then Brisa says, eating what you want, never mind. Healthy food is expensive. Still thinking. I'm going with breathing. Final answer. That's our final answer. Going with breathing. Okay, so is breathing something that we can all do with no problem?
Well, it depends. There are some people that have breathing problems, Brina.
I mean, okay, true. But I'm saying, but without someone purposely doing something to restrict you. Because honestly, breathing is the only thing that I can think of. Because everyone's not free to go wherever they want. Everyone's not free to learn wherever they want.
Yes.
Everyone's not free to say whatever they want.
Yeah.
And in some places, you're not even free to think whatever you want. So the only thing that I can think of, and I'm being really serious here, is what Brina said: breathing. Because you can't, in some places you can't marry whomever you want. In some places, you can't be whomever you want. There's always somebody or some law that's going to tell you that you cannot do this or do that. So again, I say, do we all have the same freedoms? Do we all have freedom? Because I don't think that
No,
we do.
no.
Mm.
I mean, I may want to go live in this neighborhood, but I could have somebody, you know, um,
Mhm.
you know, picketing outside my door. I may want to go have that job. I may not get it just because. Lord knows we can't send our kids to school anymore to learn without that being, you know, banned and what have you. So do we truly have freedoms? And Brennan says, I'm thinking too much. Any answer I come up with, I can talk myself out of, as long as the air is clean. Yes, Brina, and here, yeah, clean air. But we can still uh, breathe it. And cancel culture. I'm gonna push back on you on that, because when you say cancel,
I want to.
we can talk
I,
about, you know, I can really talk about cancel culture. We can start in the state of Florida, but um, you know, I don't know. Ofari, what did you want to add?
yeah, I want to. I want to say something.
Sure.
I met a certain lady. It's a white lady in school in Ghana here, and I was, I love the lady very well. And the parent of the lady, they said they will not allow me to marry the lady because of I'm a black person. So in that way, I can say that a lot of people also don't have freedom of taking decisions, certain decisions. Because of that, and you forget everything and you just go back to London. So I can say that a lot of people don't have freedom of even freedom of choose something. You
So
get me?
right. So again, when I said earlier at the very beginning that everyone does not have the freedom to choose whomever they want
Yes.
to date, whoever they want to marry, because there's always going to be somebody who's going to say no. No, you cannot be because, whether their because makes sense, but there's always that because,
I'm a black person.
you know,
I'm not a white.
and that because is not always right, is not always fair, but that because
Yes.
is always there.
Oh, okay.
So welcome to one of my shows, Ofori. Welcome to one of my shows. So guys, again, I wanted to do this show. I wanted to ask about freedom and rights and choices, and are they the same? Do we allow other people to have freedom and choices? Um, I mean, because sometimes when I'm saying things, I had to catch myself too as a parent. When I would tell my son that he could not do something, I would literally have to catch myself and say, I sound just like my mother. When I would get pissed off when my mother wouldn't allow me to do something, and I would have to catch myself and I would have to backtrack because I really did not like what my mother did, or the decision that she made. So I had to switch it up, you know, um, and not tell my son that. I had to give him other choices, or come at it a different way, So, but I personally don't think that we have choices anymore. I don't think that we do have freedoms anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
Hey, Woody, welcome. And official welcome to Power Girl. So I just think that while we're complaining what other people are doing, look at what other people are doing, and you will see that everyone's doing the same thing. No one's giving anyone any choices. No one's giving anyone any freedom. Some people have more freedoms than others. But the way I see it, unless somebody can come up with something else, the only freedom that I see that we have right now is just to breathe.
Yes.
And then even now,
Yes.
for some people, that's being taken away. So it's like, you wake up, better take that deep breath because you may not be able to get it, later on. So I, I purposely wanted to be very technical just to make a point to show you that, or to me, for me to show you my point of view in terms of choice and freedoms. Miss Shelby, you want to say something?
I just agree. I mean, I think I just agree.
Did you lose your train of thought again?
Yeah.
Oh boy, Woody says, still have some time. I'd love to jump in on here. Yeah, Woody, sure. Come on up.
Come on up, Woody.
Come on, Woody, because Ofori and Shelby, they keep losing their train of thought. So,
hi guys, how are you today?
hey, Woody.
Hey, Woody.
I'm just gonna grab my headphones. Give me 2 seconds here.
Okay. And Ofori and Shelby, if you guys could mute yourselves, that would be great.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. While Woody's looking for his headphones, have I read all the comments? Yes, I have. So while I'm waiting for Woody, do most of you guys agree with what I just said in terms of people really don't have freedoms or choices anymore, or you guys disagree with me? No worries, Shelly. Thanks for popping in. Enjoy the rest of your day. Well, thank you, Brina.
I do agree, though.
Well, thank you. We actually agree, Shelby. Wow.
Amazing, isn't it?
It's amazing. Wow. Okay, Woody must have gone to Alaska for his headphones. Then again, he may live in Alaska.
And they're dead.
Hey, Woody. What's up?
Oh, I'm just going through some interesting stuff in my life as well, and it's funny to talk about having a choice and things, but I think sometimes we choose to give our ability to make our own choices away in exchange for somebody else's happiness or what we think is going to lead to our happiness. I don't know. As a male, I feel like I've in the past given a lot of my ability to make choices up to somebody else because I felt the choices they make for me are more suitable or should be easier to keep things peaceful, I don't know where the beginning of the topic started, but I can relate for sure.
Well, you're in the right in the right area. Basically, just it's freedom of choice and the ability to choose. Freedom of choice, is that the same thing as the freedom to choose? Is the freedom to choose the same thing as freedom of speech? Do we all have freedoms? Do we all have choices?
No.
And I don't think we do either. So, and Woody, what you just said, I mean, you made a very good point. we do sometimes give our choice over to someone else.
And sometimes willingly and sometimes not so willingly, but sometimes we do that for the greater good, right?
So
Sometimes
no, go on, Woody. Finish.
no, I'm coming out of a relationship where I was given very little choice as to how things were going to proceed, and I felt that I had a lot of my ability to make my own choices for the future and my future taken away from me. I don't necessarily know why, but I think it was mostly because it was communicated that I want this person, and okay, we're not together right now, but if I let them make the decisions and keep them happy, then maybe going forward that could change. Um, but once you give up that ability of yourself to make your own choices, and you can end up giving away a lot of your freedom and your happiness, and putting yourself in a place where you don't necessarily you've eliminated yourself from having the option of choosing something different that might be better for you. I'm sorry, I'm trying to spit this out the right way, but you know, I was given an ultimatum and told this is this, and okay, one thing told one thing, and then it was insinuated that there's a whole other realm of things that I should be doing in terms of choices that I don't agree with, or to just be following somebody else's choices, and whether that makes me happy or not, that's what I need to do. But sometimes you've got to fight that and take back your your ability to decide what is best for you, right?
So, Woody, would you say that in doing everything that you did, that your freedoms were also taken?
To an extent, yeah. Um, and I didn't think I had any freedoms left. I kind of gave up all of my freedoms in hopes of following somebody else's decisions and what they want, and hopefully that would bring them back to me. But you can't be happy with somebody else at the end of the day if you're not happy with yourself, and if you're not happy with or if you're not able to make the decisions for yourself and make your own choices of what makes you happy and what you genuinely want, then how are you ever supposed to get anywhere making with somebody else, right?
That is very true. And Woody just gave us another spin on freedoms and choices, because people, they do get into relationships where it is one sided, or where one person is doing something to make the other person happy, but the other person isn't happy, or the other person isn't satisfied. So again, we have our freedoms and our choices. You know, um, that's another way to look at it. So um, I'm going to go around the room, give everybody a last word. Ofori, do you want to make a last comment?
Oh no, I'm okay.
Okay. Well, thank you for popping up. Miss Shelby,
Yes.
do you have any last words that you would like to add?
Woody, I'm so sorry that happened to you. But I just want to say you done the right thing by um I don't want to say, I don't know if you left the relationship or if it was a mutual thing, but anyway, I think you done the right thing by uh letting go, per se. But if it was, uh I just think that, in general, if it comes to that, we need to, as a whole, let go and reevaluate, you know, relationships like that. But to say, I think that we need to always um, take what choices and what freedoms we have at this moment and cherish them, because um, it's going to get worse. That's all I got to say.
I do agree with you on that. It is going to get worse, and it is getting worse. Woody, do you have any last words of wisdom?
Just be you. Do what makes you feel right, and if it feels right in your heart, that's probably the right choice to make.
Okay. All right. Well,
I tried to appease somebody else's choices and follow what I thought the direction that they wanted me or were trying to choose for me, to the extent that it tore me apart and brought me down so hard to a level that I didn't know how to get out of. And when I finally decided to choose to make my own choice, it's really turned things around in a light that I didn't think possible. And it really opened my eyes to exactly what you're talking about, giving up your freedoms and giving up your ability to choose, and how much that can affect a person deeply.
well, Woody, like Shelby, I am sorry that that you went through that and you had to deal with that. But I am one who says stand your ground as much as possible. Um, you know, never give up something to someone that's going to cause you unhappiness. Because if you're not happy in the end, I don't care what type of relationship you're in, whether it's a relationship, where it's a significant other, a lover, or your uh, teacher, your boss, or whatever. If you're not happy, that relationship's not going to last.
Yes.
It is not going to last. If you go to work every single day and you're miserable at your job, even if you're at that job for 10 years, sooner or later something's going to break, where you may do something drastic, or you just one day. I mean, I know people who have literally just walked off of a job and just never came back because they were just fed up. But if you're not happy, you yourself, then the relationship is just not going to work. That's just my own personal opinion. So, Shelby, did you want to say something else?
No, I was just agreeing what you were saying. I was just going to agree with what you were saying.
Okay. Well, everyone, that is my show for today. And tomorrow I got another deep one. Hey, Christian, welcome. But I'm going to leave you guys. I was so busy this morning. I did not choose another song, but I'm going to leave you all with a little bit of jazz. You all have heard this one before. Um, but I will have some more blues tomorrow. I know you guys like blues. So until then, guys, I hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining me. And Ofori, thank you for popping in your first time. Thank you so much. And enjoy your day or evening wherever you are in the world. Bye. And to everybody on
All
TikTok,
right.
thank you. Okay, everyone, that's it. Um, enjoy the chit chat back and forth. Enjoy the rest of your day, y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.